Welcome to the final video in this mini-series on 22 minimalist survival rifles. The culmination of this process of going through and buying several rifles, testing them out, doing various things, and looking at some kind of intangible features and benefits of each one of the guns left me with a different conclusion than what I thought I was going to get coming into this. When I started out this series thinking minimalist survival rifle, I was mostly thinking the most compact, smallest, and simplest to use gun, the lightest perhaps. But mostly it was if you get stuck out in the wilderness or you're camping and you get lost, you need to get some food for yourself over a couple of day period of time, maybe a week out in the wilderness, and it's something that you can pack around. Or in the case that you needed to keep a firearm in a backpack concealed so nobody knew you had it, just in the case that you had to like bug out of a city and hide behind a building or shoot your way out. I know AR-15s are way better for most situations like that. I know shotguns are better for a lot of situations like that. However, in a lot of places, you might be restricted to what you can have, so I thought this would have been a fun video. Now, again, I said that the conclusion of this video wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. Again, I thought the Chiappa Little Badger, being the smallest, the simplest, and the lightest, was the best firearm for this particular scenario that I had in my head. But as I went through testing all of these guns, the initial video that I did with the scoring system, all of that really kind of went out the window. Price doesn't really matter when it comes to buying a gun. The weight is somewhat relative, but all of that kind of takes a second seat to two things called accuracy and reliability. And that was what really made my decision on what I think is probably one of the best, if not the best, survival rifles in 22 long rifle. Maybe not quite as minimalistic as I had originally thought, but honestly, accuracy and reliability are going to be way better than anything else that you can think of in this realm. A while back, I posted a poll on the community post on YouTube, basically asking if you were looking for a minimalistic 22 long rifle survival rifle, what would you pick? And I basically said, would you pick a Chiappa Little Badger or would you pick a Henry US Survival? And the Henry US Survival won out over the Little Badger, and a lot of the reasons were that it's semi-auto, it floats, this, that, and the other thing. But people also suggested that a Ruger 1022 would be a better solution. So I decided to make a video actually with all three of these in it, and I'm going to compare them on various different aspects and see which one logically makes the most sense. And I'm looking at the readiness to use, how long it takes to deploy, how long it takes to store the firearm, the portability, the weight, the capacity, ergonomics, function and ease of use with the trigger, safety, and magazine release, the sights, the ability to float, the price, and then I'm also going to do reliability, accuracy, and the comfort when shooting. So if we tally up the points thus far, looking at the Henry US Survival, it comes in at 22 points overall. If I look at the Ruger 1022, it comes in with 20 points overall. And if I look at the Chiappa Little Badger, it comes in with a whopping 15 points. So again, if you just look at it scientifically, the Little Badger right now is in the lead with the lowest score. And this comment probably stuck with me more than others. This guy suggested using a Ruger 1022, but compact with a Butler Creek stainless steel folder stock. But you still do have that full-length receiver and that 18.5-inch barrel, so it is still a pretty long package. And if you consider how the 1022 takedown, the Chiappa Little Badger, and the Henry US Survival Rifle break down in store, they're still about half the length of this particular rifle, even when it's folded up. So it may not be the most minimalistic, but based on the comments I've received on my videos and after doing a fair amount of thinking, this might be one of the better options because the deployment time is literally just how long it takes you to flip that stock open. And realistically, you can shoot it with iron sights with the stock folded up just using the pistol grip, and it would still be fine. So I will say, I think as a strictly survival rifle, if this is all you had, you could get by with it, but this is fast becoming the lowest on my list for usability and functionality. I mean, it does shoot well. It shoots, that's the biggest thing, but it is not that easy to use. So moving on now to the Henry, I'm going to take 5 shots again in the upper right target over there, and let's see if I can do any better this time being bench rest shot. Ah, crap. Well, that's going to be the worst looking 22 I have ever seen. Try that again. All right, so bench rest shooting these 2 rifles. Let's go see how I did now. All right, so I did that test again. Holy crap. Even increasing the height of the rear sight on the Chiappa Little Badger from the 1 to the 2, that group's not much closer to the bullseye. The Henry, the group definitely tightened up on it. I think these 4 and maybe 1 in the bullseye, the ones I just took. So that group is much better, just bench rest shooting. But the 10-22, I know I can do pretty well with this. So let's take some shots at 25 on the bottom left target and at 50 on the bottom left target, and let's see what we can do. Oh man, that is good. That's 3/4 by 3/4. So I went from 3/4 by 3/4. This is probably 3.5 by 3, which again is not great. If I really took my time, I'm sure I can do better than that. So for the last one, the wild card is this Ruger 10-22 in the Butler Creek stainless steel folding stock. Ooh, this is nice. This is really nice. Again, out of the 4, this is probably the least compact because this is as small as it folds up. It's probably about 26 inches folded up. So less than a 2-inch group. It's about a 1.5 by less than an inch. So 1.5 by maybe 7/8 of an inch, maybe 1.5 by 1. So that group, that's probably 1.5 by 2.25, something like that. So that's my thumb. 1, 2, a little over 2 thumbs. So that's probably about 1.5 by 2.25. That's with the open sights. It's almost exactly the same as it was with the red dot. That was an ammo problem. Stovepipe. before I end it out. I really like this trigger. I really like the trigger on this thing. Not too bad. Here, so. Ooh. That's not good.
Is it the ammo or is it the gun? I don't know.
Well, I think we can see how the reliability of the Chiappa is. Maybe it's partially the ammo, but I shot probably 150 rounds out of my 1022s and my Henry of this exact same ammo from the same carton, and this guy's having trouble where the other ones did not. So, I don't know. So, all things being considered, after taking time doing all the testing, comparing the accuracy, the reliability, the size, the portability, the weight, the cost, and everything else, I basically came down to two choices for the best options for a Minimalist 22 long rifle survival rifle. The runner-up is going to be the Ruger 1022 with the stainless steel folding Butler Creek stock. And this one is the runner-up only because it's still pretty long. When it's folded up, I think it's still around 24 inches long. When it's unfolded, though, you get a full-length rifle that is very easy to shoot. This one has fiber optic sights on it. Again, this one has the Williams fire sights on it. This was just a regular carbine barrel. Actually, this was the compact barrel, I think, that came with the fire sights on it. So I think it's a 16.5-inch barrel now. Folding stock makes it really, really compact, extremely reliable. 50, 60, 70 yards, I can hit the targets pretty well. The pistol grip on this stock makes it really good to shove this thing into your shoulder. Really easy to get a good purchase on it. And very accurate, very reliable. Those are two of the, if not the two most important things when it comes to a survival rifle over anything else. Capacity is good because you can use the 10-round drum magazines. You can get 15 or 25 round, or you can get even bigger like 50 and 100 round drum magazines for these if you really wanted to. This one has sling swivels on it already, so you can put a sling on it, which is also something else that you want to consider for when you're carrying something out as a Minimalist survival rifle. This one has a little bit of extra storage in the pistol grip as well, so you can either fill it up with 22 long rifle ammo or put matches, a small pocket knife in there, something like that to keep you going when you're out in the field. So that's my number two runner-up. Now, the number one is probably not going to be a surprise to most of you. It's yet another Ruger 1022, and this is my 1022 takedown with the Magpul stock. This one is not the most portable. It's not the lightest, but the design of this stock allows it to nest itself together. So it is pretty portable. It's just barely bigger than the Henry was, but it does weigh quite a bit more. And a lot of that is because I added so much extra stuff onto this gun. So again, the heavy barrel that I have on here, the muzzle brake, which is completely useless on a 22, but I think it looks cool, the extra ammo in this thing, the red dot, all add weight onto this gun. However, in the testing that I've done with this gun, this is very accurate, very repeatable, very quick to set up and break down, has a great capacity, has a good trigger. If you either run, you could keep the factory barrel on this that had iron sights on it. I chose to put a red dot on it, which again, if the batteries in the red dot die, you kind of lose a little bit. However, you do have this storage in the butt of the gun, so I can put ammo and extra magazine. I could throw extra batteries in here. I could put fishing line. I could put a razor blade. I could put matches, all kinds of stuff in here. So it's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of guns. All of that said, I'm standing here with these two guns as the number 2 and the number 1 gun for this test because I actually took the other ones and I put them on consignment at a local shop. So the Chiappa or Chiappa Little Badger, however you want to say it, and the Henry US Survival are actually getting resold. I liked the Henry quite a bit. It was very accurate. It had a great trigger, but it just wasn't something that I saw myself shooting a lot. They are kind of in high demand in my area. I don't really know why, because you can buy them at just about any sporting goods store, but there's a local shop that I deal with a lot, and I don't mind dropping stuff off there. They have a good time selling stuff because they're kind of near Boston. And so the Chiappa Little Badger is there. My Henry US Survival is there. I also dropped off my Bond Arms Derringer because it's not something I shoot a lot, and I'm trying to pay back some of the money that I spent on a lot of guns in the last year and a half. I did something that I tell people not to do, and that's go into debt for firearms. I had more than enough guns to begin with, but I wanted more. So I did purchase some on credit, and now I'm trying to pay all that stuff back so I don't have tons of accrued interest. But there you have it for the end of the 22 long rifle minimalist survival rifle series. The runner-up is the 1022 with the Butler Creek folding stock, and the winner is the 1022 takedown in the Magpul Backpacker X22 stock with the red dot. These are just the 2 most reliable and most accurate guns that I took out and tested. Again, there was a lot of other runner-ups that could have gone through this, but I can't spend all of my money on testing 22 rifles. I have other stuff that I want to do, which I will do soon. So thanks again for watching another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews. I hope you enjoyed this series. I had a lot of fun making it. I had a lot of good conversation with people, a lot of stuff that really sparked me doing more investigation into what you can get for survival style rifles. But ultimately, I should have just listened to you guys. The 1022 probably is the best survival rifle overall. Have a great day. God bless America. Support your 2A rights. Get out there and shoot. And you remember, if someone asks you to give up some of your freedom for the greater good, remind them that freedom is the greater good.